The Halo TV series is the gold standard for video game adaptations? Oh Lord, you must be kidding. Surely, this is one of those absurd clickbait articles like, I believe the sea is made of jello. And then you read it and turns out they don't actually think the ocean is made of jello, cause that would be retarded, but they figured it'd make you click on the article if they wrote that. However, I don't think that's actually the case here, because this is simply what I've kind of come to expect at this point when it comes to anything of a major established franchise receiving a movie, a video game, goddammit, or a TV series. It is, as they put it here, the subverting of expectations. Stop subverting my expectations. I expect to see a Halo TV series. You then going, it's actually the Pablo Schreiber show, is not subverting my expectations, it is pissing in my cornflakes. But of course, from the perspective of somebody who doesn't actually give a shit about the series and simply wants something that is completely different from what you would expect from the Halo TV shows, I'm sure it's brilliant, and indeed that's kind of the point here, because, well, there's a lovely little mention. In the finale, we get one of the only few major firefights in the series. This is a TV show based on a first-person shooter. And yes, of course, Halo isn't just flashing lights and plinky-plonky gun noises. It is far more than that. It is a story, it is a universe, it is a setting, it is characters, it is relationships, but it is an action series. Having one major firefight, three major firefights in 9 episodes of an action series is ridiculous. It is absurd. It is not the subverting of expectations, it is the disappointment of the entire fan base. And the gold standard. Not Detective Pikachu, not the recent Sonic movies that literally changed the entire design of their characters based on fan outcry, you know, the people they're expected to please. No. None of that. The Halo TV series is the gold standard. Subversion. Let's begin right there, shall we? Subversion, right. After the first episode, I wrote the Halo TV series are braver than the games. In other words, it's not doing anything in the games, it's doing something that scratches my political itch. That's what you mean, isn't it? And I stand by that statement after watching the finale. Instead of giving us a recycled version of Good Guy Spartan versus Bad Guy Covenant, you know, Good Guy Spartan as in the hero of humanity fighting the genocidal Covenant race, we have people bad. Problematic nature of the UNSC. Yes. Literally. Oh, no. Humanity bad, you see. It's a bold choice. No, it's a retarded choice. That's what it is. And hell, I agree with the basic idea here, right? Humanity bad is it, because you don't even get to see the Covenant's rationale for the war. The Covenant are presented in the tiny handful of scenes where they're actually present as these kind of aloof, weird aliens. Their motivations are never really explained beyond that they want to find the Halo to go on their great journey. From the outside perspective, it sounds like they're just a peaceful alien race who, were bumbling through the galaxy on their journey. They didn't want to kill anybody, but that humanity probably did something horrible to them. In fact, we see them rescuing a poor little human child. Oh, the Covenant are just misunderstood, you see. What's that? The Covenant's goal is to eradicate the entirety of humanity because they don't fit into their Bible properly. That makes them immediately a pinch less sympathetic, doesn't it? If you actually give the viewer the whole picture, turns out Covenant are goddamn evil. They are genocidal religious zealots. They are maniacs slaughtering humanity, glassing entire planets, which is only seen once in the entire series as like a 1-minute side shot on a monitor, which is swiftly forgotten about as we move back to humanity is so bad, mean, and evil, and da. This is not an interesting plot. let me just start there too, first and foremost. Before we even get into the fact that it has nothing to do with Halo overall, it's not an interesting plot. This is the environmentalist plot of the mid-90s, where it's like, you know, the scene, like the worst monsters of all. Man. This has been done to death. You are not revolutionaries. You are not visionaries. You are not the first person to go like, oh, super soldier is human, tugging on the heartstrings. No. No, you know what would have been brave? You know what would have been revolutionary? Just giving us a goddamn action show. Dredd 3D, that beautiful movie that killed itself by adding 3D to the title, is one of the best, the best piece of Judge Dredd media practically ever. Why? Because Judge Dredd is simply allowed to be Judge Dredd. He is not Pablo goddamn Schreiber. He is Judge Dredd. Every bit like John 117 is not Master Chief in this show. And here, the beautiful one. John allows himself to get knocked out cold and seemingly die so that Cortana can take control of his body and brain. This, according to the writer, is the moment that he is Master Chief. Let me describe it. Master Chief walks out, drops his weapon in front of a brute, getting shot, getting attacked, whilst his friends are dead, dying, and helpless around him, whilst the mission is about to be failed, whilst the Covenant is getting a hold of the artifact, whilst the war is on the knife's edge of being lost for humanity. This species is at stake. Master Chief drops his gun so that he can get knocked unconscious by an enemy so that he can surrender himself to an AI. And according to the writer, that is when he becomes Master Chief. No. That is when he ceases to be Pablo Schreiber. That's a good thing. And again, Pablo Schreiber seems like a good guy, okay? Like, I rack on him a lot, and it's simply because in this entire show, he is Pablo Schreiber. Barely at any moment are you ever allowed to forget that he is Pablo Schreiber. Even when he is wearing the bloody helmet, you have constant shots from a camera inside the helmet, showing you that, oh no, it's still Pablo, don't worry, it's not Master Chief, it's not a faceless, interesting super soldier, it's not somebody you could... In the age of diversity as well, where Pablo Schreiber is Pablo Schreiber, whereas Master Chief is anyone. Master Chief can be... It can be you, it can be me, it can be a woman, it can be a black dude, it can be a white guy, it can be an Asian guy, it can be literally anyone because he is a helmeted protagonist. No, we had to have Pablo Schreiber. The villain of the series, Halsey, wants Chief to be the same way. So many fans want him to be without humanity, and that's not something we should celebrate. That's the thing right there. That is the entire point. Halsey is a monster. Why? Because she created a monster. She created a soulless killing machine. That was her goal. That is why she is a monster. That doesn't mean that the product of this is negative. That simply gives additional weight and depth to Master Chief. It makes him more interesting. It gives him moral interest. It goes, okay, Jesus Christ, I thought you were just a cool-ass super soldier, but you're in a way a victim as well. You are a hero and a victim. That is depth and complexity. Simply having Pablo Schreiber and deprogramming himself by touching a magical artifact, pulling a pink vibrator out of his butt cheeks, and then seeing music. And then, oh, tear in my cheek. I have rediscovered my humanity. This is not interesting. This is not character growth. This is every single finding my humanity cliche rolled into one in about 5 minutes. It doesn't make him more interesting. It doesn't give him complexity. It just turns him into Pablo goddamn Schreiber again. And I love this. Ultimately, the villain of this series is not the Covenant. It is not the genocidal aliens who we see wipe out millions, if not billions. It is not the aliens who attack literally innocent civilian societies, slaughtering them for no reason. The aliens that in the first scene of the series starts gunning down children. they're not the villains. Because they're just killing humans. Dirty, filthy humans, eh? Because the villain is Halsey. And again, Halsey's not a good person by any stretch of the imagination, but the entire point is she adds complexity to this series. And the point is, adapting a video game can never be done one-to-one scenario. Yes, it can. Yes, it absolutely can. And this is what we need to actually realize. If you want a video game adaptation, you know what you do? You give people the video game. Simple. Sonic, for example. Why is Sonic loved by everyone? Why is it earning millions? Why is it one of the highest, if not I think, but actually the highest grossing video game adaptation ever? It is because it is simply Sonic. It's not hard. It's not difficult. There's not some grand complexity at play here. People who love a video game would like to see the video game on screen. That's it. We don't care about your Nancy-Pancy ideas of your, oh, humanity. No, we want to see Halo. We don't care about your script. And there's a lot of rumors going around as well that apparently this was a rewritten Mass Effect script, which, you know, rumor mill on the internet, God only knows, but I can bloody see it. The first episode, what does Master Chief does? Well, aliens are attacking a random colony. Master Chief arrives to save the colonists, ends up touching a mysterious magical artifact that gives him visions and sends him on a quest to find a bigger magical artifact to reveal the truth. That does sound an awful lot like the first mission of Mass Effect, doesn't it? The focus near universally on interhuman politics, with the actual bad guys being only hinted at the end? That does sound damn familiar, doesn't it? The fact that the fact that Pablo Schreiber, masquerading as Master Chief, finds himself a love interest and decides to screw an alien spy? God damn it. That certainly doesn't sound like a lot of Halo, but it does sound like Mass Effect, doesn't it? The very idea that a key plot point is that McKee, the human Covenant pet, is, for lack of a better word, fucked straight by Master Chief's super enhanced cock. My God. The gold standard of video games. And then she turns evil again because the humans are like, hold on, you're a spy? You're a traitorous spy? Shocked Pikachu face, somebody subdue that woman. Not to mention too, the whole problematic aspect. Right? So they talk about the problematic aspect of the UNSC, how this is a bold choice. What is the problematic aspect? It's not Halsey. It's done in part, sure, but the UNSC is made out to be so much worse than it is. They have a literal slave planet where they dump garbage and they keep children as slaves to sort the garbage for no reason. And when the guards find the children, do they go, hey, children, get back to work or something? No, they chase them down and beat one of them to death with batons. Like, my first comment when I did a review on that episode was, what do you do if there's not enough fascism in your fictional universe? Well, you invent some. And that is what they did. They took a story that was decidedly not Halo and forced Pablo Schreiber into this green armor for about a grand total of 10 minutes, 15 maybe, over the course of the entire series, and then they just stamped Halo on the box art, threw it out the door, got their views, and now they're laughing. People are disappointed, people are hating the shit out of this, it don't matter, money's in the bank, and the writers, pfft, they'll disassociate from this and never mention it again. They'll simply write on their resume, worked for a large Paramount TV show of, fuzzy origins. This is not the gold standard of anything. Certainly not of video game adaptations. And it certainly isn't Halo either. And the only way you can see this as the gold standard of anything is if you literally wanted the Halo TV show to not be about Halo. God awful. I suppose that's the reason why we get these shitty anti-fan shows in the first place, because there are actually people out there who want to watch something that is completely unrelated to the thing that it's based on. Better to tear something down than to build it up, I guess. Until next time, I've been Arch, thank you all very much for watching, and by the way, do consider checking out the Halo review series I did as well, because simply explaining it in short does not do justice to the car crash. Till next time, have a good day.